Dude,
My God, it's been 1,000 years. What?
JRPG news. Welcome, everyone. It's Dude JRPG news. It's been like a millennia since we've done this, right?
Yeah.
A millennium.
Wow. What happened?
Well, what happened is actually a good reason. My computer broke, so finally got a new one. It took about a month to, find one and think about the price and all that, but I'm really satisfied with what I got. It was expensive, but I'm happy with it now. And I'm looking forward to making more videos with it, so don't expect any more huge breaks like this in the future, guys. So, I'm here, the legendary Zoltan, with my co-host, Mel. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going lovely. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great now. Glad to be back. So, we missed all the news. So, we're going to tell you some of the old ones and some of the new ones. And it's going to be fun. We didn't decide the order before we pressed the record button.
Well, we sure didn't, but I can go first with my quickies if you want.
I would like that because you got lots more items than I.
Yeah, all right. So, gosh, we really picked a prime time to take a break here, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Probably some of the most JRPG news-packed couple of weeks that we were not around for. So, yeah, so we got some quickies here. Bravely Default 2 kind of came out. It's gotten some really good reviews. It's more Bravely Default 2. Neither of us have played the game, correct? The original?
Yeah, neither of us have.
So, yeah. We don't have too much to go on about, but it's a big title. A lot of people look forward to it. It is out. You could buy it. The next one is The World Ends With You. This is another game that I don't believe either of us had played, the original on the DS.
That's right, we haven't.
Right. Yeah, so I believe we did touch on that they were doing a remake of this game called Neo The World Ends With You on Switch, coming out soon-ish.
Wait. I'm sorry, was that a remake or was that the sequel? Which one was it?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a sequel.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just confirm.
Yeah, I think that was actually just the name of the sequel.
Sequel.
Okay.
Coming out mid this year for Switch and PS4, not 5.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's an anime for this game. That's going to be released sometime this year. I know every time I hear about this game, the people kind of come out of the woodwork who drool all over it. It must be great. I don't have a lot of hands-on experience or know pretty much a damn thing about it, but just thought it would be worth touching on.
It is because, yeah, people do love it. I don't know really anything about it either,
right? But
I'm interested.
Yeah, it's one of those hardcore fan bases that I always am very, envious of, question mark? I don't know if it's the right word, but it's like, I'm aware. I'm very aware that people are in love with The World Ends With You for one reason or another.
Isn't it a Tetsuya Nomura game?
I believe it is. Yes, it is.
I think it is, yeah.
It is. Now, the last one here that I have on my quickies list is maybe the longest of the quickies. And this is the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis game. Have you heard about this? Right.
Heard about it, yeah. Don't remember though.
Yeah. Okay, so this kind of flashed in front of me and kind of came and went. I had to look it up and make sure I wasn't imagining it. This is like a menu-driven remake of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Of the Final Fantasy VII remake?
Yeah, so it's using the Final Fantasy VII remake's kind of redesign that it took with the character models and the locations and everything.
Yeah.
And it's sort of demaking it into a lower resolution, lower fidelity game that's more menu driven. I don't know if it's strictly turn based, but it's coming out. It's part of a couple of high profile mobile titles that's coming out on Apple Arcade that's launching somewhat soon. And this is one of the big hot gets. I suppose Apple spent some money to get a hold of. And when I first looked at it, I was like, whoa, they're doing like almost a turn-based or like traditional RPG sort of side version of the remake, and I thought it was just coming out on whatever consoles and PC. That may still be the case. In fact, I would not be shocked at all if it did, at least on PC and maybe Switch.
Right.
But right now it's an iOS exclusive. And it really has an interesting design. If you look at the trailer, it looks like, you know, the kind of stubby, chibi look of the original?
Yeah.
It's that, but nicer looking. What if they remade or remastered the original Final Fantasy VII instead of doing a full redesign for the combat system?
I see.
That's what this looks like. And there's like static camera angles, which are like the same exact camera angles as the original. The one question mark I have is I don't know how, like, is this the whole fucking game? Because that would be wild, right? Like, the remake didn't even get through the whole game. Because there's a segment where you're playing, not playing as, but a segment where Zack is heavily featured, and he's not in the episode 1 remake at all.
Is it really just a kind of a demake of FF7 remake, or is it a completely different, different game?
No, it's the same. You fight the Scorpion boss in the new redesigned Mako reactor.
Yeah, okay.
And it looks like a demake of the remake. It's so bizarre.
That is bizarre, yeah.
It is really crazy. So my eye is on that, if only to see one day it comes out on like Switch or something.
There's one more really, really hilarious Final Fantasy VII title that was announced similar timing. Do you know what it is, Mel?
7? No.
Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, right?
First Soldier.
Do you don't know what it is, dude?
Uh-oh. I don't know what it is.
You're gonna be... Okay, I'll just tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
It's Final Fantasy VII Remake Battle Royale. Literally.
Shit.
It's not a joke.
I heard about that. I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake Battle Royale. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
I think it has Sephiroth in it. I can't remember anymore.
That would not surprise me. Isn't he the first soldier?
I think he is considered the first soldier, yeah. So I think it's supposed to be about him, but it's a freaking... it's a
what the fuck?
Battle Royale game. Like, what's the point? Whatever.
Shit.
Okay. Since I only have 2 items on mine, why don't you go ahead and tell me about Fantasian?
Okay, yeah, Fantasian. Hey, this isn't Final Fantasy. This isn't the last story either, but it is made by the same guy.
Which guy is that?
Our friend Sakaguchi. Hironobu Sakaguchi.
Yeah.
He's at it again, guys. Unfortunately, this is also on iOS.
So is he doing this as Mistwalker or what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is a Mistwalker game.
It's such a sad state of affairs, man, because,
you know,
he broke away from Square Enix because he wanted to do something more creative, and he got... Oh, Nobuo Uematsu joined him, right? To make Lost Odyssey and stuff, right?
Uematsu, and he's back again here to do the soundtrack for this game.
For this game too, right? Yeah. And so, you know, that sounds all wonderful.
Have you heard the soundtrack for this game?
I haven't heard the soundtrack for this game, no.
Did you look at if you just play the first 5 seconds of the trailer, you'll get a good idea.
Okay, hold on.
I thought you would get a kick out of it. It's very Zoltan.
What? Oh, the Diorama Adventure RPG. I remember this actually now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's the freaking Nobuo Uematsu style rock music.
It is, yeah. It ramps up a bit later on. So yeah, this is a so yes, again, this is an iOS exclusive. It's coming to Apple Arcade. It's part of that whole thing again. But the one thing I wanted to mention here is that the combat system seems like they're trying to push things into kind of an interesting new direction. It's got like the static over the head camera that doesn't turn, but it pans around on the screen like a lot of old RPGs does when you're in town, at least.
Oh yeah.
And you run around, you get into encounters, but those encounters, you can like bank those encounters to then face them all at once in a big encounter.
Yeah. That
It's
sounds like
kind of
fun.
a crazy idea. I just think there's something really cool about random encounters just happening instantly. Like, this is not the first time that there's been a game where they do something kind of like riff on the random encounter idea, but
Mm.
this is the first one I've seen where I'm like, oh, okay, all right, let's see where this is going. So
Yeah.
again, this is on my radar when it's no longer on iOS.
I do
If that
also
happens.
really like the graphical style where they're like making,
Yeah,
I guess they're actually making these dioramas physically and then taking pictures of them.
I guess.
Like that's
Good
kind of what it
question.
looks like. It has really
It
nice graphics.
does. These really do look like photographs, right? Like these
Yeah.
look like almost um like clay animation sets
Yeah.
in a way. Like
Sort of,
it
yeah.
really does, and your character, since it's a static camera angle, the character's kind of running around. The camera does like shift perspective to get like down lower to the ground or higher up, depending on where you go. But the environment itself is not turning around. You know, you don't have direct control over the camera, which is reminiscent of, role playing games from before, early 3D role playing games where the camera behaved that way.
Yeah.
So to me, it just looks like, hey, how can we take the trappings of old role playing games and kind of freshen it up a bit? And that seems to be what it's doing. Hopefully, it's a good game. I don't know if the combat's any good.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I
But
hope it's awesome and then they make like a freaking uh larger console version of it or
mhm.
something. Like
Yeah, this
mm,
it's interesting. I can't say that any of these Mistwalker like spin-off games have been terribly successful though, have they?
I don't know that they have. I mean, the most popular one is what's the first one again? Lost Odyssey. But
Lost Odyssey, but that went nowhere. That got trapped on the Xbox 360
right,
and is still trapped on the Xbox. It's not even on like Game Pass or anything. Like you couldn't play that game today unless you busted out a
on Xbox
two-gen old
360.
system.
Yeah.
It's even still working,
Yeah.
you know, with a disc. You couldn't even buy that game download, I don't think.
Oh,
Like
for
that was
real?
way before. Yeah, so you needed a two disc or maybe it's even three disc game that reads and writes, well, not writes, but reads like super slow. It's a really slow game to load. So slow.
Oh.
It's in desperate need of a remake or a remaster or something.
On
Um,
PS4.
on anything, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about that uh well, I mean really all games, but you'd think it would happen less often to all these newer games from Xbox 360 era and like PlayStation 3 era. Now, a lot of them came out digitally, but some of them didn't. So for example, you can't get
Yeah.
freaking White Knight Chronicles 1 or 2. You can't get
Mm,
Eternal Sonata like
mm.
digitally anywhere. Um, Actually, I think you can get White Knight Chronicles 1 as a PS Now thing, which is
Oh
streaming,
gosh.
right? It's not download,
Yeah.
right? So
No.
that
Right.
sucks to me anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, so once my dying PS3, which is like it works so poorly,
Mm.
literally takes like 30 minutes or something for it to get warm enough to read a disc, yo.
Whoa. I
Like
turned on
literally.
my PS3 somewhat recently. I can't remember why. I think. Because I ended up. We've mentioned it before. We're doing Xenogears, and initially I thought I was going to play that game on my PS3 because you can still only get it on PS3.
Yeah,
The
digitally, yeah.
PSN on PS3, not the PS4 PS3
Yep.
PSN, just the PS3 PSN.
Yeah.
Still
Exactly.
available for sale there. So I had to boot up and update. For some reason, it still had updates. My old PS3, and I was like, "Woof! This system is showing its age." It ran okay, and I am, long story short, though, playing that game on my desktop on an emulator because it runs better and it's more comfortable. But
Okay, good.
at any rate, yeah, my PS3 I'm like crossing my fingers on that one too.
Yeah, I think it's just a bunch of dust in there, and I've sprayed it out by like putting
What model?
the latest one, the one with like it looks all corroborated, kind of like a
Oh yeah, the
cardboard box.
corrugated one that it slides open. This tray slides open on the top, right?
Okay, maybe it was one before that. It doesn't slide open. It just you put it into the slot and it like sucks the disc in for you.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong thing. I have an original PS3 fat.
Oh man,
the
you
one
can
that
play
came
PS2
out.
games on that.
No, the one that came out after that.
Oh,
sadly.
for real?
Yeah, I got the fat that isn't good.
Yeah.
So I wish. In fact, we do have in my basement a broken one that plays PS2 games.
Oh wow.
But it broke forever ago, and it's probably so full of dust and junk in the basement that you may as well just throw it away. I mean, I may as well just. It's not like I have a hard time playing PS2 games. I mean, emulators are easy. I have a PS2 Slim that works fine, believe it or not.
So do I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing is a beast. It like seems like it's never gonna die.
The Slims are like, unless you break it over your knee, it ain't gonna break.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like when I'm like at the end of my life at like 80-something, 90-something years old, I want to play Valkyrie Profile 2. Bring me the PlayStation 2. It's like gonna work just fine.
You didn't bring the memory card. What the fuck is a memory card?
Okay, so I guess that's that. I guess it's my turn now.
Sure.
Okay, I got literally. Okay, not literally. I got a million quickies for you guys. I promise I know what the meaning of the word literally actually is. Okay. First I'll tell you guys about some cool videos that came out while we were gone. Imfa finally released a new video. He was working on this for a long time, and he was posting all these updates about how hard it was to get this video to be finished. And when I tell you the title, you'll realize that's one of the reasons why. But also, like, he was having trouble getting music, like the company that he was using to license music from them. He doesn't just freaking steal music from the internet and stuff. He actually does things right. So he was having all kind of problems with that, but he overcame all that, and he finally released How to Beat Skyrim Without Walking.
Whoa.
I know, right? This is the first time I've ever actually recommended a video to you guys that I actually haven't finished watching. I've only watched the first 10 minutes. It's an hour long, so it's one of his longer ones. And so what you can expect from an Imfa video is a guide about how to beat Skyrim literally without walking, and his entire journey of trying to figure out how to do it, edited to music as an hour-long music video. It's gonna be epic. I know it.
Wow.
So look forward to that if you're gonna watch it. Freaking Eric Landon RPG has a podcast type of show, an interview type of show called That JRPG Show, and he recently released an episode called That JRPG Show number 2, The Legendary Zoltan, the top 5 best JRPG composers. So I got to be the first guest on his show. So
nice.
What an honor, right? Yeah. So I was really happy about that. Thank you, Eric Landon, for letting me on your show. And the reason I got on there, because obviously we're not going to get him any new viewers by being on his show. But I composed his opening theme song that he uses for all his videos.
Oh, nice.
Right. So that's why he invited me on. And he said that the audience members, every time he tried to use a different song, they were like, no, the old Zoltan song was better. Go back to that one. So that was cool. Nice. Yeah.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. So we talked about his top 5 JRPG composers and my top 5 JRPG composers, compared our lists, and then we had to try to agree to a definitive top 5 between the two of us. And it was a really fun show if you just want to hear two people talking about, JRPGs. Thank you, Eric Landon. And thanks to him, you may not have noticed, Mel, we've got like 72 new subscribers.
I did think I saw
A
that
boost.
there is a little bit of a boost happening, which is really nice.
Yeah. So
I think it's very nice. Thank
we
you,
owe him.
everybody. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kaitanz29 released. Well, he just started a whole series. Let's Play Star Ocean: The Last Hope. This is a big deal to me personally. I watched 1.5 full Let's Play series by Kaitan. I watched half of his No Magicite FF6 play, and I also watched all of his Valkyrie Profile 2 Let's Play, because that is the one. You know, I know what the best Let's Play of a lot of different JRPGs are, if you like, because I've checked them all out. And in the case of his Valkyrie Profile 2 Let's Play, you're gonna learn every goddamn secret in the game. And that's what I like about it. And he also has cheesy jokes, which I also enjoyed. And so he's like been gone like forever after that, though. Like just stopped maybe 1 or 2 years in between. And then from out of nowhere, he's like, "Hey, I'm starting a new Let's Play on my channel." And I'm like, "Yes, it's Star Ocean: The Last Hope, which is Star Ocean 4." And I got to participate a little bit because I have a Japanese guidebook. And the reason this matters more than it matters for any other game that has a Japanese guidebook is that this game only has one single version that came out, because it's called Star Ocean: The Last Hope International. Every area got the exact same game, and it just has all the language options in the options menu. So that means I don't have to worry that any of these Japanese tips don't apply to this version of the game or anything. So kind of a special case. And yeah, it's got all kinds of deep ass little tidbits. Like here's an example, just a little fun example for you guys. This will blow you guys' mind if you've ever played this game. You have a chance to just magically not die from taking a fatal blow in Star Ocean 4, in all Star Ocean games. And when you do that, you have a stat that affects that called guts. And so when you live, I refer to it as you gutsed through the hit or whatever. If you take a hit and you guts through it, it does this calculation depending on your guts stat parameter and, how much HP you had when you took the hit and all that. But it only calculates that every 1.5 seconds. So if you start taking a bunch of hits, rapidly within that 1.5 second interval after the first hit, like you'd think you just die because it's not gonna let you, do the calculation for guts. But no, you get a freaking 80% chance to just stay alive. That's crazy.
Whoa.
Right? And the only place you would ever learn that is from that book that I have, right? So that's a fun little thing. So I've been in his comment section. He's been saying, "Oh, I found this out from the legendary Zoltan." So you can hear some totally deep otaku stuff from him about that. And last video that I recommend for you guys, Tark's Gauntlet released. Atelier Ryza 2 is so close. Review PS4, Tark's Gauntlet. And he reviews Atelier Ryza 2, and he thinks that it's a lot better than the first one, gameplay-wise at least, and graphics-wise. But it's not quite a really awesome game in his opinion. And he says people really shouldn't be giving the first Atelier Ryza 9 out of 10s in his opinion. But it'd probably be right up my alley, I think. So that's all the videos. Now, let's get to some actual news. The Caligula Effect 2 is coming to the West this fall with English text and Japanese voices. It's developed by Aquaria. That's kind of a cool name. Published by Nipponichi Software America. It's coming out on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. I don't remember how popular the first Caligula Effect was, but a lot of JRPG YouTubers did cover it, so maybe it wasn't bad. Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out May 14th on PS4, Xbox, and PC. It's going to have Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3 in it. I haven't played any of them, so I can't say I'm not a fan or anything, but I'm not really interested in it, to be honest. You played 1 or 2 Mass Effect games, right?
I played 1 and 2. I really liked 2.
Okay.
And I never played 3.
What's the sales pitch for Mass Effect 2?
It is one of the first games where your crew, they kind of develop as a personality. as you get to know them. And of course, it's very well voice acted.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the game gives you some choices to make that are actual like hard choices in the story. It's like, do you
Awesome.
want to do this or this? And yes, generally it's like this is the good guy decision and this is the bad guy decision.
Yeah.
But some of them are way more like,
Gray.
I don't know, dude. It's wherever your moral boundaries are, and it's like, whoa. And I just
That's
remember
cool.
that being for me the first time a game had ever had a clever enough decision to make like that.
Oh, good, good. Well, that's good to hear. Before the fall of BioWare happened, right? Yeah. Okay. A game I hadn't heard of before, Elemental Knights Online R, just recently came out on PS4 worldwide. It's an MMO that was originally on Switch and mobile. Now it's on PS4, so that's cool, I guess. Diablo 2 Resurrected comes out 2021. Did you know about that, Mel?
I did, yeah. My friend group is big into those types of games like Diablo and Path of Exile, so they really knew. And if it's any good, I might be playing it with them. But yeah, the original Diablo 2, some of my friends are old school fans.
It was
And
amazing, right?
it was really great for what it was doing at the time, absolutely. And Diablo 3 got to a place that was really, really great, but it started out really rough.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It looks like they're trying to make, I don't know if amends is the correct word, but they're trying to assure people, it's going to retain the Diablo 2
feel.
Feel, and it's not just going to become like a live service game.
Oh, thank God for that, right? Jesus
I know,
Christ.
but watch out because Diablo 4 definitely will.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
Most likely.
Sounds like a fun group of friends.
Yeah, they're all not older. They're all PC players from way before I ever got into PC. So they have, a history with PC gaming that goes years before mine.
Did you play like Minecraft too when it first came out?
That was right around when I got into PC gaming, was when Minecraft was out. So 09 was like when I started getting into it. And that was like right when, like 2010 was like right when Minecraft happened. So yeah.
I've played a little Minecraft, but it's not my favorite thing in the world, of course, because I'm a JRPG grinder type of dude. But I have a lot of nostalgia for it because when I remember Minecraft, I kind of remember what the world was like back then. It was like what do I want to say? It was the Total Biscuit era, I want to say, on YouTube.
True. Yeah, he was all over the place on there.
Yeah.
I also have the same feeling of since we were doing some shout outs, there's a guy on YouTube who is maybe one of the oldest and historically Let's Players on YouTube.
One of them. Wow. What's the name?
Yeah, this guy, David Angel.
David Angel.
Let me see if I can pull up the exact name of his
YouTube channel.
David Angel 64. This is the guy who did a Let's Play before that word was a thing. Now it's so old it's not a thing anymore. Like no one calls these things Let's Plays. They just say, here's whatever. He did this series called X's Adventures in Minecraft. And his YouTube channel is very old. Those original videos from 10 years ago have millions of views on them now. And he just recently redid that series for the first time in 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's a real nostalgia trip because watching him do some of these things over again is like, whoa. It was a totally different time. It was a totally different place when he was doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Diablo 2 Resurrected comes out 2021 for every platform in the world, basically. It's a remake of Diablo 2, and you can switch between the new graphics and the old anytime with a single button press.
Yeah.
3D physically, these are things that they wrote. Okay, so quote, 3D physically based rendered graphics I'm sorry, when I say they, I mean Blizzard, not the website that I read it from. They
Uh-huh.
quoted actual Blizzard themselves. So let me get this again. 3D physically based rendered graphics. Not quite sure what is going to change when they say that. Dynamic lighting, revamped animations and spell effects, 4K resolution, and the FMVs have all been remade shot for shot. Surround sound, and the gameplay is, quote, completely intact, quirks and all, adding a few highly requested quality of life improvements, such as a shared stash, end quote.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Right? That should be good if they don't mess it up like they messed up freaking Warcraft Remastered, was it?
Oh yeah. I think people have been explicitly pointing to the Warcraft, whatever it was called, remaster, and they're like, it sounds like it won't be that.
Yeah, as long as it's not that, because like they went and like made a lot of really important things worse, and then they
Yeah.
also simultaneously deleted the old version from like, what is it? Like you run the game and it changes the file on your computer so that
Oh, I
it's the
hadn't
new
heard
one or
about that.
something.
Oh, that sucks.
Something
hadn't
like
heard
that.
about
I can't remember. Or maybe they just stopped selling it. I can't remember. Anyway, let's move on. Another game I never heard of, VED, V-E-D, comes out on like every console imaginable in 2022. It's developed by Kara Clan, don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's described as a story-driven RPG with turn-based combat and roguelite elements, and it has hand-painted graphics. Haven't heard of it, right? King of Seeds, the pirate ship RPG that I'm waiting for, is delayed from February 18th to May, sometime in May. And they also made a video saying, they also announced that they now have a publisher, Team 17. I guess they were just going to put it out themselves before. I don't know what possibly gets better when you get a publisher like 2 months before the game's going to come out. But, okay.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Okay, here's some stuff that people will be more interested in. Eiyuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, is being published by 505 Games now. That's new news, yo. The dev team, Rabbit and Bear Studios, that's the one that freaking Sui Kodengai made a video announcing the partnership. The director of the game, Osamu Komuta, the overall game designer and scenario writer, Yoshitaka Murayama, the character designer, Junko Kawano, and the producer / art director. How do you be the producer and the art director? Like, that's usually two different people, right? Junichi Murakami. They all appeared in the video to say that they think this will be a great partnership and that they chose 505 Games because they think 505 understands the sensibilities of Japanese creators and that they believe this because of their history of 505 Games' history with publishing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for Koji Igarashi. Anything to say about that, Mel?
I mean, hey, Eiyuden Chronicles, it's been one of our little
worry things, right?
Worry things, yes.
Is it going to be okay? I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's going smoothly from the outside, but... Okay, I love this announcement, yo. Atelier Mysterious Trilogy Deluxe Pack comes out April 22nd worldwide on PS4, Nintendo Switch, PC. It contains Atelier Firit. It contains 3 Atelier games that all have the word mysterious in the title. That's why it's called the Atelier Mysterious Trilogy, okay? Most Atelier games come out in trilogies. So, for example, the one Atelier game that I played that I have on the list of games for you to someday play, Atelier Rorona, her game is called Atelier Rorona, the Alchemist of Ireland. And then there are 2 other games that are also take place in Ireland and have the name Ireland in the subtitle, and that is therefore called the Ireland Trilogy. And that's how Atelier games work. Atelier Firis, the Alchemist and the Mysterious Journey, DX. Atelier Sophie, the Alchemist of the Mysterious Book, DX. So these DX versions are already like newer versions in the originals. And Atelier Lydia and Suel, the Alchemists and the Mysterious Painting, DX. All 3 games will have a photo mode, digital art book, and double battle speed. Oh, and some additional stories and quests. Not bad. I like that.
Okay.
It sounds really good, like a really good thing. But I'm all about that Atelier Roadrunner still, 'cause that's the only one I've played. NISA, Nipponichi Software America, has announced a new RPG for PS4 and Switch. It's called The Wicked King and the Noble Hero. It's a game made by Sayaka Oda. That's a girl's name for people who don't know. And she also made The Liar Princess and The Blind Prince. So if you played that game, which I haven't, maybe you have an idea of how good this game is going to be. This game has a graphical look that is kind of like you're playing in paintings within a storybook. And I watched the Japanese trailer, so I'm going to give you guys some top secret information that probably you're not going to hear anywhere else. The story, the title is, what is it? The Wicked King and the Noble Hero, right? Well, guess what? The Wicked King is actually a dragon. And the Noble Hero is actually this little girl, like a kid. And
who would have seen it coming?
I know, right? And every night, they live together, yo. And every night, the dragon tells the girl a story about a legendary hero that destroyed the Dark Lord years ago. And it turns out that person that destroyed the Dark Lord was her father, that girl's father. And so she goes out every day to fight monsters to train because she wants to become a hero like her father. And the Dark Lord that her father had, I guess, defeated is actually that dragon. So for some reason, that dragon that was almost killed by her father, I guess, is now taking care of that dude's daughter. I don't know what's going to happen after that. That is really fascinating to me, though.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. And last things for all my quickies, just a couple sales stories. Octopath Traveler shipments plus sales have now equaled 2.5 million. Good job there, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah. I didn't think it'd go up to that high. I mean,
huh.
Games that get up to like 3 million are usually considered massive, massive successes. So that's cool. In just 10 months, the Seiken Densetsu 3 remake, Trials of Mana, has shipped plus sold 1 million units. That's not bad at all. Just 10 months. And total worldwide sales of Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, that's the one that came out like on PS4 and stuff, not the original one, has sold, not shipped, just sold 1 million units. Took about 2 years. So congratulations to all those games. Whew.
That was a lot of quickies.
That was a lot of quickies. They weren't quick at all, right?
Well, I mean, when there are that many of them.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do your last 2 stories?
Okay. So I've got no, we didn't do this one.
Yeah, I want you to save that one for last.
Okay.
So I want you to do the rumor and the Pokemon.
Got it. All right, let's do the Pokemon.
Okay.
Everybody do the Pokemon. So Pokemon Legends Arceus. So yes, Arceus, I want to say, is one of those like god Pokemon that have been introduced. There's a number of them. There's a trailer for this game. That's the name of it, Pokemon Legends Arceus. And this game is an open world Pokemon game.
What?
Like the ones we were all imagining that they would never do for whatever reason. Coming out early 2022 for Switch.
Okay.
I got to say, unless there is something wrong with this trailer, the frame rate on this looks really bad.
Really? From the trailer already?
First of all, this whole game looks like it's 30 frames per second. Which,
well, that's not the end of the world.
Game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there are parts of it where, like, the character is running through, like, some tall grass. And I'm not, like, Digital Foundry. I'm not going to go and look at a thing and go, wow, the anti-aliasing over here way up in the... Like, I'm not going to nitpick that hard. But if I can notice when a frame rate is dipping for some reason, it must be pretty severe. Yeah. And some of these things look like they're probably closer to 20 to 25 frames a second, especially when there's like a lot of vegetation on the ground. And for a trailer I'm like,
Right?
come on, guys.
You're supposed to put out the best in the trailer.
Yeah, just like, geez, and this game isn't even coming out this year. Like, you didn't even need to show us anything so comprehensive. Like, just the most simple thing to indicate a open world game would have sufficed. And
Yeah.
then later, you can go ahead and put out a more comprehensive thing. Strange, but needless to say, I don't want to bury the lead here. This is a open world Pokemon game. It's set in like a sort of analog to feudal Japan. So everything is old world. There's no cars. It's all that era historically. Even the Pokeballs themselves, which in like the anime or the games, they look kind of like high tech pieces of. They're like these little. They got these like metallic rivet latch on them.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell they work. I never knew how they worked. Like it's just Pokemon magic. Who cares? But needless to say, everything has this kind of coat of historical paint on it. I don't know what Pokemon are going to be in here because at this point, I think it's a given that no new Pokemon game is going to have all 1,000+
Pokemon, yeah.
Pokemon. It's always some group, like one generation or another one, or the newest one or the oldest ones, whatever they end up doing.
They should just make all new Pokemon for a game. They should do that once.
They've done that. They've done. Don't ask me which one, but one of the somewhat recent ones, the Pokemon that you could catch were only the newest ones.
Oh, okay.
So there were ones people had never seen before, and of course, people got upset because it's like, I want to catch Pikachu and Bulbasaur.
That's a problem.
I'm like, I get it. I get it because those are the only Pokemon I remember or give a shit about too. But they actually had it in that game. And again, I don't remember if anyone out there knows Pokemon more than me, you'd probably instantly go, oh, it's this one. But when you beat this game, then you could play and catch the other Pokemon in the game.
Oh, that's interesting.
But they wanted you to engage with the latest ones first.
I see.
I've seen a couple Pokemon in this trailer that I recognize. They're not Gen 1, but they're like Gen 2 or 3 from what I can generally understand. The open world looks like Breath of the Wild, but worse. I don't know why. It like the graphical quality just looks weird. There's like a considerable amount of pop in as they move forward. I don't know. I'm not going to stickler it too hard, but to me, I feel like that's going to be part of the conversation, especially with a lead up as long as 2022.
Yeah.
It's going to be what people talk about. And when the next trailer comes out, everyone's going to be saying, did they improve it? So
hopefully
that's
they do.
the table setting we have. Hopefully they do. If you're interested in an open world Pokemon game, I think my time for that came and went. There would have been a time where I would have been like, yeah. But now I'm like, I got too much else to play.
Yeah.
I think that would take too long. I was never big into Pokemon enough, so I don't know that I'm ever going to get on board. But yeah, big threshold. I mean, just Pokemon going 3D back in what was it, X and Y? I think was like a big deal because we're like, finally, we're not a 2D turn-based game anymore. The turn-based part is still there, which I love, but they were finally moving it into a 3D title. Now they're breaking it out further into, you're ducking in the tall grass and you're throwing Pokeballs in real time. And I don't know how the combat works, but it seems to be like a like the open world adventure people have been imagining since like Pokemon Stadium on the N64.
I've never actually played a Pokemon game, so I can't really make any comments about it. But when I imagine what you said, when I imagine that it's like an open world, kind of like Breath of the Wild, and you can wander around and just grab, capture Pokemon in the Pokeballs kind of freely. The thing I imagine, because when you don't really know, I didn't watch the trailer. You kind of imagine it as the best thing ever for some reason. At least that's what I always do.
Sure, yeah.
And so the way I'm imagining it right now is it's full on Metal Gear Solid 3, where you crawl through the grass and they hope that you don't find them. And I'm thinking that's exactly what I want it to be like. That sounds awesome.
Well, you hope so. Definitely. I mean, I don't have much more experience with Pokemon than you do. I've played a couple of, I think I own 2 Pokemon games. I didn't finish either of them. But, obviously we both know from cultural osmosis what these games are and why they're popular and stuff like that. So clearly this is a big story. It came out on a couple weeks ago. They had a whole Pokemon Nintendo Direct themed Nintendo Direct, and this was like the
Yeah.
highlight of that whole thing.
Cool.
We will see.
See
Cross
if
your
it's good.
fingers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go on to my next one.
The rumor.
So once again, there's a rumor
Okay.
that PlayStation games, for no good reason, will come out on the PC.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why
Has
these
this
are
happened to
rumors.
any game yet? I mean,
Not
yeah.
that I'm aware. It's happened to several Xbox games because Microsoft is the same company that makes Windows, so that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why or in what sort of legal workaround Sony would I mean I guess so okay. Would Sony stand to make money as the publisher and therefore the rights holder to some of the income if they release these titles on other platforms? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But the whole point of investing the considerable amount of money into the R&D and all the other things that go with making a physical piece of hardware is that you recoup as much as you can by forcing people to buy that hardware.
Right.
And to me, doesn't make a lot of sense that stuff in this rumor would head off platform because these remain some of the strongest reasons to own the platform. And today, I think, in my opinion, I know for a fact they wouldn't get my money on a PS5 if their exclusives one day ended up on a PC, because I would really lose all reason to buy
buy
that
the
hardware.
Yeah.
So the rumor is by a Twitter user who apparently has somewhat of an accurate track record for certain games showing up on certain platforms. But this time, this person is saying that Bloodborne, the Uncharted collection, Ghosts of Tsushima, and God of War may
Huh.
end up on PC, and those feel so fucking impossible.
Those are like the
It's like
most
saying,
important PlayStation exclusive games.
seriously, like the only ones that I would imagine are more like centrally PlayStation would be like The Last of Us
Yeah.
or I don't know, I'm
I mean,
blanking on it.
well, what's
But
more like central PlayStation exclusive than freaking
Uncharted.
Uncharted series, right? Yeah.
Like anything that Naughty Dog does, like seriously. And Bloodborne is
Is like considered by
so
many the best PS4 exclusive and maybe just the best
yeah.
PS4 game even.
Yeah. Probably one of the strongest driving motivators for me to buy a PS4 back when it was new was Bloodborne.
Hmm.
The Bloodborne rumor had been around for some time, and at one point I was like, okay, maybe there's something going on. Maybe From Software spent some money because they're getting really big,
Yeah.
and maybe they have enough weight and they can throw that weight around enough to where they're like, hey, Sony, we want to make as much money on this as we can, and you're going to make money too. And Bloodborne is an old game; it's not new. You made your money. You sold all your PS4s. It isn't coming out on PS5. Let's re-release it now, many many years later,
Hmm.
on the PC with maybe 60 frame per second gameplay and whatever other else. And for a minute, I was like, okay, I can see that happening. But all these other developers with all these other games it reads too much like a wish list. This
Yeah.
doesn't seem true at all.
Hmm.
Uncharted, no way. No way, no way, no way, no way.
Wouldn't it be
No,
amazing if that actually gets announced next week?
I would be very shocked.
Yeah.
I would be the first one to throw these games on my Steam wish list, or at least the Uncharted one, because I was a big fan of the first two. And Bloodborne for sure, because who wouldn't want to play if you're a fan of Bloodborne? Who wouldn't want a chance to play that game at 60 frames per second?
Exactly.
Um, God of War, I never played the new one, but I'm sure it's good. Ghost of Tsushima, same story. But I don't.
You
I
don't see
mean,
this happening.
no. So I'm reading this off of a DualShockers article, and it says the leaks can't always be trusted, but this one seems legit. I just don't
Huh.
think it seems legit. I
Okay.
don't at all. I truly don't. It would be great. Not saying it would be bad, but it would be great if it were true. I just don't think it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to get to my main event, and then I guess we're going to talk about two more huge things from your list again after that, and then we'll be done.
Okay.
So I got, it's like the best freaking news for JRPG fans, yos. So Saga Frontier Remastered, Saga Frontier was a PS1 game. Saga Frontier Remastered came out on April 15th, is coming out April 15th on PS4, Nintendo Switch, PC, mobile for $25. So that's going to be a great addition for all those old school JRPG fans. Now, check this out. This is like a total freaking secret. Nobody knew about it. And I searched on the RPG tag of Gematsu.com for all the stories related to RPGs. And this wasn't in there. And I'm like, why wasn't this in there? And so I searched for it, and it was listed in their industry section only for some reason. But this game is an RPG. It's called Kowloon. I think Kowloon is how it's pronounced. It's Kowloon. Kowloon High School Chronicle. It came out already on February 4th for the Switch. This was a Japan-only PS2 game, yo. Another one of those just came out. So people are comparing it to, yeah, right? And just I found out about this. Freaking I just, I'm subscribed to Eric Landon. Eric Landon plays Kowloon High School Chronicle. I'm like, what the hell is that? I never even heard of it. And I've heard of like every game there is, I thought. So and then a little bit later, his episode of his podcast, That JRPG Show, where he interviews Tark's Gauntlet. Apparently that was where he first heard of it. Tark's Gauntlet's like, oh yeah, lately I've been playing Kowloon High School Chronicle, and even freaking Eric Landon was like, what the hell is that? I never heard of that. What the hell is that, dude? So this game's going under the radar, yo.
Wow.
It came out on February 4th on the Nintendo eShop for $30. It's freaking developed by, is it developed by Arc System? No, is it published? Published by Arc System Works. Developed by Toy Box Games, which I haven't heard of. And it's people are comparing it to Shin Megami Tensei Persona. It's a high school setting, and you go into this dungeon, and then you're doing a dungeon crawl thing in there, and it's like first-person dungeon crawl, I believe, like old school wizardry and stuff like that. So maybe it's good. I don't know. The only thing they did is just up-res the graphics. It looks like. So that's really, really interesting story, if you ask me. Didn't expect that to come from out of nowhere. But we got an even better one, yo. Like, we had Saga Frontier, or we're going to have it. We got Kowloon High School Chronicle. And now, the PS1 game Legend of Mana is getting a remaster for PS4, Switch, and PC. Comes out on June 24th for $30. It's going to have up-res graphics, a rearranged soundtrack. I don't know if they're actually going to record. That doesn't necessarily mean live orchestra, right? It could just be remixed, right? I don't know. And the Ring Ring Land minigame, which was only available in the Japanese version, apparently. I didn't know about that because I only played the American version. So that's awesome. Legend of Mana is kind of an insane game. This is a game. A lot of people didn't like it, and back when I first played it, I also didn't like it. But the more I think about it, the more fun I think I would have if I played it. And I've started a game a little while ago, but just haven't continued it. It's on. I have the original PS1 Legend of Mana downloaded on my PS3, I believe, and it's insane, dude. This is a game where it's not open world. You have to unlock the world slowly, but it's open quest, if you will. The entire game, everything you want to do is completely optional, yo. I think the way it works is there are like 4 main storylines, and the game does not guide you to them, really. You just have to stumble into them, and it's up to you. You know, one of them is like about these people who have like gems inside their body or something, or on their forehead. I can't remember now. So like that's one of the main storylines that you can engage with, and but you have to like, so you might find one event related to that story, and then like, okay, now where do I go? And you just have to like start wandering around. Maybe you opened up a new area, so you can go in there and check out what's in there. And if you really care about that story with the people with the gems in their body, you just have to hope you find it. It's like that. It's really weird. So, and it also has a million. I hear that it's like what's that game by Yasumi Matsuno? Vagrant Story, where it's just got like a million really cryptic, really insane, deep systems. Like, I don't even know what they all are, but like, you can make a robot, for example.
Oh gosh.
You can grow seeds in your backyard. You can capture animals, or maybe just raise animals and breed them, I think. Like, I mean, enemies, and then, you know, you can bring them with you on the field.
Yeah.
There's also another, you can do smithery as well. But there was another really crazy thing about this one that I'm trying to remember. It's not coming to me now. Oh, that's right. The basic battle system is weird. You just like, you have some abilities, and like, for example, you have the jump ability and the spin ability. And if you push the spin button, you'll do a spin slash or whatever. And if you push the jump button, you'll jump. And the way you unlock new abilities is you just put 2 abilities on your, map them onto your face buttons, and you push them both at the same time and see what happens. And you unlocked spin jump ability.
Oh my gosh.
And then you put on spin jump ability and try that with other things. It sounds insane, right? So the more I think about it, the more appealing it sounds to me. And I'd like to play it again. So that's getting a remaster for PS4 and Switch and PC, yo. June 24th. Whew. So, and now we're finally getting to the biggest stories, right?
Well,
Let's do FF7 stuff first.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, now we all know about the FF7 remake. We covered it on our Turn-Based Memories channel. Yeah. We've covered it here a number of times, like any good role-playing game podcast has. Well, they're remastering the remake.
I know, right?
Yeah, they didn't phrase it this way because, of course, they didn't. Instead, they went with a traditionally ludicrous English subtitle called Intergrade.
Yeah.
I guess it's supposed to be a play on upgrade and, I don't know what.
Interlude?
Interlude, something like that. It's supposed to imply, like, this is a, you know, mid-step, you know.
Yeah.
This isn't the next one. Right, it's not part 2.
It's 1.5.
It's 1.5.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I
mean, it is just a remaster with a new story segment added on to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other little parts and things around the periphery that are added in. Like, there's something that caught my eye was that you can play the classic mode in normal difficulty now.
That's right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is interesting. I kind of wish they maybe redeveloped the classic mode concept to be more viable.
Me too. It's not. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Well, that's great," but
classic mode sucked.
The way it's set up, it doesn't really work. Classic mode really doesn't work in any difficulty mode. I don't think it would work in any difficulty mode. I don't think, because it's all about, you know, mashing, telling them to do an attack, and then moving on to the next guy. it's not
I would love
really.
to see someone do it though, because the game can get generally pretty difficult, even in normal mode. And
Yeah.
when you can't directly control your party members, how does that work? Like, how do you win this game? It's gotta be they must have done something
Hmm.
to either the enemy AI or your
Maybe
allies.
they're just gonna do a super good job for you, because
That's what
like
I was like in the back of my mind. It's like maybe they fixed it.
I mean, well, even if they do a good job, that wouldn't be a better game mode though. But it just means you won't die, which is nice. But yeah, the whole problem with the way it works is it literally is just the normal battle system. But when you don't push buttons, they attack for you. That's
Right.
all. So
Yeah.
it's
It's
kind of
it's
dumb.
still positional based. You can still move your characters around, and
Yeah.
you still have to. So it's like, it's not classic. I see what they're going for, but we've discussed all this before. That's one little minor throwaway addition they seem to have made. Obviously, the big improvements are the graphics. That's like
But
the headline. Go ahead.
it
You have
is it a
something you
big
were burning to say.
improvement, Mel? Like,
I
how
would
much
say
of an
60
improvement is the
frame.
graphics?
I would say 60 frame per second is a big deal. That's
Was it
that's
30
my opinion.
before? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was.
But it
There
still
were
ran
also
smoothly, so it didn't.
it did. It was a solid 30 frame, which is always best if you're going to go 30 frames. But once you see the same game in 60 frames,
Yeah, you
it's
can't go back,
usually
right?
like, oh, I didn't even realize how much better. Like that's how it is even to me. Whenever like I've seen the PS4 hacks that run Bloodborne at 60 frames, I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better. But with this game, yeah, the frame rate will be better. We all kind of know about the weird janky textures here and there that are not rendered for one reason or another.
Yeah, those will be fixed, I'm sure.
Probably those are going to be fixed.
It even mentioned somewhere specifically like better background visuals, so I guess that's referring to
Right.
the background, like that JPEG thing that people complained about.
Yeah. There was that kind of whole thing. So there's quite a lot that's kind of coming for the ride with this in terms of it being, a PS5 game. But is it going to be worth double dipping for someone who maybe thinks they got their times worth out
Well,
of the
well, well.
PS4 version?
Wait a second, dude. Wait a second, dude. You don't have to double dip if you have a PS5. That is,
Oh, right.
it's free.
It's a free upgrade.
That's pretty cool.
It's almost like I did that on purpose. What's that you say?
Yeah, what's that you say, Mel? Yeah, so
How many will you buy? Yeah, so that's right. One of the bigger stories here is that unlike some other games that have had content upgrades or feature upgrades, they're not going to make you double dip on this one. If you own the PS4 version, you can, I guess, is it a full transfer or
what do you
do
mean?
we know the details? Like, so for example, let's say you download it on PS4. Do you keep your PS4
Oh,
download? Like, can you know what
how
I'm
does?
saying? Is there a license transfer?
Well, I've never heard about like, I've never done it myself, but
Either.
I can't
Not
imagine
sure.
like you losing your PS4 version if you download the PS5 version. That would be dumb.
Right, but couldn't you play the PS4 version on PS5?
Oh, that's a
Well, I
point.
believe so.
Maybe it could.
So
Yeah.
I think it would not surprise me if the license transfers and now when you go to the PSN you can download it. Also, your save data carries over, so they're trying to make it
Smoothest possible
as
transition.
smooth
Yeah.
as possible. The content upgrade that we kind of danced around is a sort of, I don't know how long it's going to be, probably not super long, but a content edition featuring Yuffie.
Yup. That's
So
pretty
there
crazy.
she is in
Hmm.
a part of the game that she wasn't in before. So,
Yeah. And
but
she
it
looks
is
really cool.
Yuffie. She
She
looks
looks
really
really cute.
cool. Yes, she looks really cute. She looks really cool. She's got that crazy big sword blade
Thingy. boomerang thing.
yeah, and there's a couple companion characters that are not in the original game, I don't think, who are with her for that segment of the game.
Yeah, I don't recognize those guys.
I don't recognize those guys either. So that's a lot to have. So that is all free, right? You're just getting this like DLC.
Dude, I think the Yuffie part is separate paid DLC.
Okay.
I don't think you
Okay.
get that part for the free upgrade.
Got it. Yeah. Oh, there's a photo mode.
That's right, there's a photo mode, yeah.
Who doesn't like a photo mode?
To be honest, I keep liking them more and more as time goes on.
I know. The only game's photo mode that I have ever spent any time with that really was like, oh, this is cool, was the one for Mario Odyssey on the Switch.
Oh.
They just had a lot of really cool filters, and the game is so full of like crazy good looking vistas and areas. I took a couple photos that I actually saved and are on my computer because I'm like, these look really nice.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I've always really loved the Mario, the art style, like the kind of art style that they use in the later Mario games. Now that he's all 3D and bright and beautiful,
Yeah.
I really like that art style actually.
So yeah, this game will have its own photo mode.
So the problem with this thing, though, really though, is that you can't play the Yuffie side quest unless you buy a PS5.
Yeah,
That's the crappy part of it, right?
That is the sort of back end catch to this all, huh?
Yeah, which I don't want to do. So I don't know if I'm going to be playing
either.
Episode 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake, unfortunately.
No Intergrade for you.
Not Intergrade for sure, yeah.
There's supposed to still be coming out on PC at some point, this game. I don't remember what the release date is. But I would guarantee you, if you've been holding out on this game for the PC version, you're getting this version.
Yeah, it's got to be right.
It would be ridiculous if it wasn't this.
Yeah, why would they give you the version with the PS1 JPEG, right?
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
With the door that doesn't load or whatever.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be happening in June.
Okay.
June 10th, worldwide.
That's cool. I guess. I don't know.
Me too. Similar feeling there. Not, if this were a thing where it's like, hey, your PS4 version got prettier, and there's a new. Even if it was like, hey, you can buy the Yuffie side quest on the PS4, I might do that. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that might have happened for me because I've already played the game quite a bit, so and I think it's a really solid game in terms of gameplay, at least in terms of battle, anyway. So I think I would like to, and see what kind of new abilities she's gonna have, because that whole materia and ability system that they have in the battle system just like is freaking awesome. So that appeals to me. But yeah, I'm not gonna buy a PS5 for it.
No. Hey, and even if you wanted a PS5, they're fucking impossible to get.
That's right. You can't even get them if you want them.
Get a damn PS5. I'm glad I don't want one, because I'd be pissed if I did.
Yeah. So let's go on to your last story. This has got to be the best news of all time. You may not know it yet, but you will when you play FF Tactics. You'll realize that this is the best.
Oh no, I'm keenly aware of how big a mind blow this is for people like us. So we all know about Octopath Traveler.
Yep.
And we all know the former project name, Project Octopath Traveler.
I know, right? And they just removed the project and left it.
They just removed it. I was like, you guys just couldn't do any better, huh?
I know, right?
Well, here they are again.
At least,
these
Mel,
guys have made another one.
At least, Mel, I know that when you judge a title, one of the things you want is that you want to know something about the game from the title. At least in the name Octopath Traveler, you know that it has something to do with 8 different paths, right? So
sure, yes. Octopath being a pretty ham-fisted way of making that, but yes, I agree. It is very descriptive.
Yeah, but it sounds dumb.
The same team has gone forward with their next project, which I'm very glad to see is not just Octopath Traveler 2. It's not the same game with some, incremental improvements. This is a completely different game
Yeah.
with what appears to be a completely different setting.
Mm-hmm. Tactical
And
RPG, yo.
obviously right, but that's the bigger story. It's a completely different battle system, and the obvious touchstone here is that this battle system is directly lifted from Final Fantasy Tactics.
You said lifted. I mean, it's just inspired, right?
Inspired by lifted, I use them interchangeably. It's not like as a derogatory term.
It's not copied, right? Yeah, okay.
Whatever
Well, I suppose it
word you
sort
feel
of
like
is,
using.
huh?
Right. I mean, in art and in other forms, people copy from each other all the time. It's normal. And in this case, this is a very directly inspired from Final Fantasy Tactics, that same gameplay, that particular style of strategy RPG, because the more you dig into the strategy RPG realm, you find quickly that there's like sort of a division there between games that are like Final Fantasy Tactics and games that are like Fire Emblem. They're a
Huh.
little different. They work
Well,
a
what
little
games are
differently.
like Fire Emblem besides the Fire Emblem series?
Let me see. Well, there are a lot of Fire Emblem games.
Well, the division in my mind, which I've said before, is that either a game is similar to Tactics or it's different enough that it's different. And if it's anyone that's too similar to Tactics,
Sure.
is going to be considered not as good as Tactics, is what usually happens. Like every game
Okay.
gets compared to Tactics for whatever reason. I mean, well, because it's a good game, not for whatever reason, because it's a great game. Every strategy RPG gets compared to Final Fantasy Tactics, and unless it's really different, it usually just gets forgotten because I don't think any game that is really a lot like FF Tactics has been considered better than it. So,
Right.
Disgaea lives on because it's pretty different. I mean, you're still on the grids and all, but it's got all these wacky, aspects of it, crazy damage numbers, and all these different things about it. So Nipponichi Software is living is I don't even want to say they're living in the shadow of Final Fantasy Tactics, but they found a way around to live in the same world as Final Fantasy Tactics. But lots of other tactical games haven't. Like nobody ever talks about the Suikoden strategy RPG that came out.
True.
Right? So
Yeah.
okay, sorry about that.
Well, I think it's also important to note that for a series, Final Fantasy Tactics, that hasn't had a new entry in how long?
Oh yeah.
We're still talking about it. Like it's still a touchstone reference that people like myself who haven't even played the damn game
Yup.
know what it is. So that you're talking about a big game when you're at that level. So instantly when I looked at this trailer, I was like, oh, this is Final Fantasy Tactics. They're just doing that.
Yep.
And it's the same. They didn't mention it in this trailer unless I missed it. It's that same what they coined in Octopath Traveler HD 2D visual style,
That's right.
which is really cool. I really like that style.
Yeah, I still haven't played that game
Yeah.
myself, but every time I see the pictures and the videos, I'm like, my God, that is beautiful.
It's so nice. It's sprites layered on a low polygonal, high def framework with like strong depth of field effects and other lighting effects.
Bloom.
Like 3D dot game heroes. What is it called? 3D dot
3D dot game heroes, yeah.
Right. Very similar to that, but not so glaring. Like the bloom in that game was like comical. I think
my
on
God,
purpose.
yeah. It was out of
I
control.
think
And
it was
so was
definitely on purpose.
Yeah, and so was the what is that called? The depth of field blur.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
game is more like, what if we do that for
and
real?
make it look good.
And make it look good and make it look like a real game, but the character models that are interacting with the world are all 2D sprites.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good combo.
Totally,
So good. And that's what we have here. The name of it being the great name, Project Triangle Strategy.
Yeah. They better not just call it Triangle Strategy when they're done.
You know they will. You know they will.
Will
you
they?
don't think they will?
I hope. No, I think they won't this time, but I'm worried they might.
I think they will. I think because they're too proud with their idea of it being this triangular morality, or not morality, but
It's just three
there's a
kingdoms, right?
there's three kingdoms, and you can choose which one to like gain favor with as you, I guess, take on missions or just get past certain story parts where it's like, are we gonna go rescue this guy? Yes or no?
Right.
They liked it that we did that, or they didn't like it that we did it, but the other guy liked it that we didn't do it. That kind of thing.
I
That's
hope
the
I hope
triangle they're
they
referencing.
Yeah, I hope they go pretty as deep as they can with that because Final Fantasy Tactics kind of had, I want to say, like, they're kind of faking you out because there are a
Uh,
few times where you have to either like when you enter a battlefield, you can say, okay, what are you gonna do? You can choose the mission objective. It's rare, but there are a few times where they let you do that, and you can
okay.
either make the mission objective to kill everyone, that's all the enemies, or to rescue the guy that's being captured. And if you just have to kill everyone, if the guy who's being captured gets knocked out, he doesn't die because the story continues on no matter what. But if that guy gets knocked out, it's not game over. Where if you choose to rescue the guy, as soon as he gets knocked out, the mission is game over. So they kind of put you at a disadvantage in that way. But I don't know.
Got it.
No, in the end, it didn't really matter which one you choose, is what I'm saying. And so I hope they actually make it important which choice you make this time around. If
Well,
they're gonna
with
do
it being front and center in the game's title like this, I would hope so.
that. Yeah, right.
Like, kind of be a downer if it was all sort of a false choice.
But thou
But it looks
must.
great. Yeah, but thou really truly must. This game looks really, really compelling. Let's check the release date. Coming 2022. There's a demo out now.
Yeah, have you played it?
No.
Okay. Nor have I, but I don't have a Switch, and you do.
I remember playing the demo for Octopath Traveler, and that pretty much sold me on getting that game.
This one you don't even need to play, and
Yeah.
you're gonna buy it, right?
Well, probably. I don't know. I would like to play the demo. I forgot, frankly, that there was a demo until I
Yeah.
looked it up just now. But yeah, this game came out in the middle of a Nintendo Direct a couple weeks ago. There were a couple other little things. I feel like they all kind of got drowned out. Like this announcement got drowned out because people were somehow convinced there was going to be a Breath of the Wild 2 announcement. And there wasn't. There was the exact opposite of that. There
Huh.
was an announcement that there won't be an announcement.
Oh, they said that they don't have anything for Breath of
Yeah.
the Wild 2 yet.
Igeo Numa came onto the stage and said, "Hello, you're probably expecting me to say something about Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh,
Well,
no
I'm
way.
sorry. Yeah, like why bother? Why bother? Just
troll
don't
you.
say anything. Jesus." But they tried to give like an excuse, like, "Oh, it's been a hard time for," which I understand. But Christ, like, you don't have to tell us you don't have anything to say. We know it when we don't get anything.
They want to get you guys off their backs, I guess.
I guess, but geez, oh man, I feel like that makes it worse because
Yeah.
then everyone's just talking about the time they said they didn't have anything to say.
I know, right?
And that
Okay.
kind of drowned out the whole announcement of this game, unfortunately, I think.
But all the JRPG YouTube channels, the few that are out there, they all were
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
Yeah, we all knew. We all knew.
Okay. Well, I think that is all the news stories for today. So before we go, the whole point of this channel is to tell you the news and then to advertise our main channel, which is called Turn-Based Memories. And nothing new right at the moment, but I got an hour and 40-minute long I'm just going to say it's like cringy humor about JRPGs. Let's just call it that, okay? An hour and 40 minutes of it video up. It's just a compilation of all the old videos I made before I made Turn-Based Memories with Mel here. So you know, you can hear like my voice is a little bit higher, my jokes are a little bit worse. Yeah.
Well, that'll be. I feel like at this point we have to advertise the turn-based memories channel to this channel.
I know, right? Yeah.
Gotta
So
put a
that
little
one.
stinger in there somewhere. Be like, hey, we also do weekly. You know, if
Yeah.
they care, who knows?
Yeah,
But
I have
if
no
you
idea.
are someone who has subscribed to that channel and not to this channel, you know, go ahead, subscribe to both.
Definitely. So yeah, I've got that, and also we recorded the turn-based memories episode for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. We already did it a
Yes.
while back, but then my computer
Yes.
broke. So don't
Correct.
worry, I already got the files onto my new computer, so I just got to re-edit it. I mean, it doesn't take long, but and
Right.
re-export it and all that. And then we'll get that up there for you guys finally. And you can hear all about what it was like for me to play Ocarina of Time for the first time in my life in the year 2020-21, whenever I
Yeah.
finished playing it. And I'll be talking to Mel about it, who was a big fan of it since back in the day,
Yeah.
because that's what we do on turn-based memories.
There it
And
is. And the next game coming up is Xenogears.
yep, and
Coming
this
up
time,
work.
yeah, and this time we're gonna be trying out a new
Right.
format. So soon we're gonna actually record the first episode of the Turn-Based Memories podcast of Xenogears. So we're gonna see what it's like to do a multi-episode
Yeah.
game.
Once I get enough content where I feel like, okay, I have enough things to talk about the intro of the game, we're going to do a sort of intro portion, and we're going to do our usual spiel that we do, and then we'll do the next part as we go along. We don't have it blocked out as far as how many segments we're going to do yet,
Yeah, not at all.
but instead of doing one big episode where we just kind of discuss the whole game, we're going to try and capture some more of the moments of the game. I think was going to be one of the advantages of the format,
Yeah.
and we'll see how that plays out. And then there's always the possibility that we could push these all together into a video at the end of it, right? You know,
There is the possibility of that too, yeah.
that's always an option. Or you could just put it in a playlist, and watch them all.
Exactly.
There's that. There you go. So yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to more news.
Where are you in Xenogears right now?
Oh, I'm still very much in the beginning because I mean I would have updated you with like, dude, we gotta do a thing now. Should be getting closer to where I want to actually do a thing on it, but I'm not that far in, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's been too crazy at work.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
Yep.
Everybody will get there.
Eventually. Awesome. And since getting this new computer, I've only had it set up for about a week, and already, because of it's very small, it's not a desktop, it's a all-in-one computer. It's been very convenient for me to just carry it to like the living room where all the whole family is, and I can just type something while everybody's in the same room with me. And so just for in the past week, I'm on like, what is it, rewrite or like revision number 3 or whatever of my massive Final Fantasy VII remake thing. And just this week, I just typed up like 5 whole pages, retyped up. So that's going very smoothly all of a sudden.
You're like an author who's like on their resume is, and I'm writing a book about Final Fantasy VII. It's like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's just like a thing that you are perpetually doing.
Yeah, it's never gonna end. No, I'm gonna finish it, man. I stopped playing other games so I can work on that. My kid's like, Papa, play Dragon Quest 11. Like, no, I got to type this little
bit.
Yep. So I guess that's everything. You got anything else to say, Mel?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been JRPG News. We hope you had a great time. Go check out our other channel, Turn-Based Memories. And we'll see you guys next time. Laters.
Bye.